So, we have had a lot of fun on the road, Drupa. I'm Pat McGrew, once again back. We closed the show today. 14 wonderful days. As the Drupa song says, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And I have to say that it was a pretty good show. I think the attendance figures at the end of the show are going to show that overall attendance was probably down from 2008. That might have changed in the last few days, but that was what we saw at the midpoint. And I think that we're going to find that, as usual, we'll hear a lot of stories about great deals being signed. And that's what a show like this is really all about. It's attendance, certainly is a factor, but so are all the great stories. And a show like this has a very long tail. Once the show happens, it will be, even the next 2 years, we'll see deals that will emanate from the conversations that were had here. Final thoughts on what the big story at Drupa was. I was talking to Carrie Sherborne from What They Think, and we were trying to say, is it the hybrid Drupa? Is it again the inkjet Drupa? What is it? But actually, I think it's my friend from Objective Loon, Dr. Paul Jones, who's the technology VP for Objective Loon. And he said, at the end of the day, it's really the mobile Drupa. This is the Drupa where software really came into its own. It not just as a periphery around the edges, but really a huge part of the story. Not just web to print applications, and we saw many of them in Hall 7, but MIS applications and the integration of enterprise management applications, not just job costing and the things we've traditionally seen, but taking it from end to end in an enterprise, from knowing what the overall costs, the incremental costs of a job are, all the way through to the realization of how that impacts the cost of a job and what you should charge someone. So huge software story here. And a huge part of that was also integration to mobile applications. So from augmented reality applications to delivery to smartphone applications to basically integrating print and pixel. A huge number of stories here. But of course, then there were great printing and finishing stories as well. Certainly MBO and EMT and a host of other folks brought great stories. And if you're a packaging person, Hycon brought a really great packaging story. It's a relatively new story. And you couldn't, walk 4 feet in the Drupa Fairgrounds without seeing a Land Lab sign and conversations about nanotechnology. I think we all agree that it will be great technology when it's fully realized, but that's probably a couple of years away. So this was a really great Drupa 2012. Thanks for taking the ride with me. I really appreciate those of you who've clicked on the views and have left some comments, and I hope that this has been valuable for you. We'll try and write it all up as a blog so that you can see it there on Print Media Center, or however you get to us. As you can tell, I'm not in the same hotel room. I've since moved back to Dusseldorf. We finally picked up and moved everything today. And with the show shutting down, my next stop is the World Mail Awards. So maybe we'll do Road to the World Mail Awards over the next week. I hope that if you have any comments or you have any questions, that you will drop us a note. Definitely you can drop them at Print Media Center. You can also add comments to these videos, and I'd be happy to take a look at them. It has been my pleasure giving you a tour to Drupa, and hopefully we'll meet again at a show somewhere. I'm Pat McGrew, your roving reporter for Print Media Center.